you lose signal and there's no Wi-Fi, but you did see that you were supposed to do exit 16A, right? Everything in you is telling you probably should keep going straight.
Right.
It is literally taking it step by step, one at a time. If this is the route that is suggested for me first, even though there is another way,
come on,
you have to follow that way. You cannot continue to look at what's next. You have to go with just the first direction. When you don't know, just follow the first step.
Follow the first step.
And that first step for you could be saying yes to God.
Wow.
The first step could be, I'm going to trust you. The first step could be, I'm going to sit here and be quiet. And then you'll get the next step.
Woo!
It's when we try to get every single step that you get over.
Welcome. Hello, I am Sybil, your host for Faith Based Optimum Living, where we share transformative content about emotional wellness, purpose-driven living, and a meaningful life. And today, y'all, it's going to be good. I'm so excited. We have had the most awesome, incredible, and powerful season this year. We've been talking about vision, what it looks like when you're in different areas of clarity, fog, emotional wounds during the times, how you lead. It's been really good. And if you have missed any parts of it, I want to encourage you to go back and watch it, take a moment and sit with what you need to sit for yourself so that you can keep moving in the vision that God has given you. Today, we're wrapping up some things. We have just 2 more episodes to go. And I'm so excited because I have with me my friend. I thank God for my sister. She is going to share and drop some nuggets, and she's going to empower you. I hope that y'all are ready. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be so good. This conversation is going to be so good. The journey that she's been on, the things that she knows, the experience that she's had, there are some things that she's going to speak right into your life. And you're going to say, oh my God, how does she know? She knows. All right. Because God has brought her through some things. Okay. So y'all, I want to just introduce to you my friend, Dr. Yao Williams. She is a doctor. She is an author. She's an emotional wellness specialist. She is a sharp lady. She is beautiful. She is a mom. She is a leader, and she's an author. Did I say that part already? Because if I didn't, I want you to know she's an author. She got some books out here. But nonetheless, she is a wonderful person. I'm so excited to have her with me. So y'all, can you just give it up and celebrate Dr. Yao Williams in the house? Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here.
Welcome. I'm looking forward to our conversation. I know. Are y'all ready? Y'all sure you're ready? It's going to be good. So what we're going to talk about is a couple of things. Today, our conversation is about navigating uncertain path, and Dr. Ya has been on some of those. And I did forget to tell you that she's also, in a place that she can help you build confidence to do what the courageous part of you needs to do. So that's for sure. I'm a eyewitness of seeing her walk through some things for sure. All right. So we're just going to talk about some faith, some strategy, and some things that's going to be real chill but real powerful. Are you ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to talk about a little bit of what it looks like when you're walking through life and things are not as clear as they want to be, but the unexpected things are happening. Can you share a time you had to make a significant decision without clarity?
Absolutely. I think that most of my life has been making decisions without clarity. And when we think about clarity, it's, for me, I don't know what's on the other side, right? And having to make a decision, in the beginning, I was, I'm making a water walking faith, right? Just going. But honestly, I think that my first decision that I would say that I made without clarity, if we want to go back that far, was when I left to go to college.
That's good.
I came to school sight unseen, never toured the university or anything. That was the first time that I relied on self-trust and didn't know what it was going to be like, how it was going to happen. There was no clarity. I just knew that I'm supposed to be going to this school.
Right.
I don't know how I'm going, but I asked one of my cousins. She rented a car and drove me 3 hours to school.
Come on. These are kind of people we need in our lives.
And that was 20 years ago.
20 years, 2 decades.
Yes. So that was the first decision that I made. Wow. With no clarity. Didn't know what it meant. And sitting here today.
Wow.
Just bringing it full circle, that from there, I believe that I have been making those decisions ever since.
That one decision. Oh my gosh. I almost feel like we need to come back and talk about that. How that one moment without clarity still brought you to such a vision of clarity.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Y'all, am I getting hype already? We only at the beginning. Okay. No, because this is the thing, right? Sometimes we think that it's about clarity right away. We think that it's about all the answers and all the puzzle piece fits together and everything's good. But you're saying that's not how it worked.
I didn't even know there was a puzzle, right? But I also know that's not how it works. And I am a planner and I'm going to go through A through Z, and then we're going to go from 1 to 15. And God just was like, no, there's no alphabet. There's no numbers. I need you to just do what I'm telling you to do.
Wow. So for those of you who are listening and watching, we're talking about lead in the now, like the now of life, instead of, I'm trying to figure it out, I don't know what to do. She's saying that 2 decades ago, 20 years ago, she made a decision to do A, B, and C. And now literally y'all were like, she walked the stage not long ago. Yeah. She has accomplished probably more than she thought she was going to accomplish when she stepped on that campus, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. This is so good because so many of us always believe, I got to see it, I got to know it. Like, I feel confident when it's like that. But that's not how it really works in the real world, right?
It doesn't. It doesn't. You don't go anywhere and see the full picture at all, right? Movies give you clips and previews and things like that, but until you go buy the ticket and sit in the seat, you don't know how it's going to end.
And you don't even know where your seat going to be sometimes.
You don't know where your seat going to be. You don't know any of that. It's literally, you're making a decision to go.
Wow.
And I think that was my first yes. My first full yes.
That was your first full yes.
Yeah.
And we can unpack that. That one yes, full yes, multiple yeses. I'm sure about 1,000 times over.
Yes.
And I know it hasn't been easy.
Absolutely.
To lead in the now, to move when you didn't have all the clarity, but you knew this is what you were supposed to do.
No, it wasn't easy. It's repeatedly saying yes. And I think my saying is, and my answer is still yes.
Wow.
And I have to say that.
Y'all catching that? The answer is still yes.
And my answer is still yes. God, I don't know what you're doing. God, I can't see it. I don't even feel like it.
Come on, when we don't feel like it.
But my answer is still yes. Yeah. And some days you have to give that yes more than once.
In the morning.
In the afternoon. Sometimes twice in the morning.
Come on. I'm a witness.
Yes. Sometimes twice in the morning.
Wow. I agree.
Yeah.
That is so as we're talking about this, yes, let's talk about how you made a decision. So now we're walking through the process, right? So how do you move with God's peace when you don't have the full plan, right? You don't have the full plan, but how do you even move with God's peace? That's what somebody's listening and saying, how did you do that? How do people do that? How did you do it?
So I think for me, it was that peace, right? And the assurance of knowing that He won't leave me or forsake me. It is the assurance of knowing that He has me and I don't see it, but I gotta trust that He is the one that's going to do it. And that's what faith is, right? It is literally trusting what you cannot see.
Right.
And there's plenty of times I put my faith in myself.
Right.
And I have this plan and I want to do it this way. But when you think about it, there's no other person that's going to carry me through where I need to go. So the assurance isn't in what I see. It's not in what I feel. It is not in who I am. It is with God. right? And I think in this season, and I don't know if we're going to get to it, my scripture has been 1 Corinthians 15 and 10, but I am who I am, but by the grace of God. I am who I am by the grace of God. It is not me. I didn't do it. What I did was continue to trust him.
Wow.
What I did was, on the days that I did not trust him, was honest that, God, I don't see it. I don't know. I don't feel it. But your track record remains.
Come on.
So
don't have me crying. The track record.
So when I don't see it, I gotta go back to the track record, right? I gotta go back. In this moment, I don't see it, but I remember what you've done before. Wow. And I remember that you're gonna do it again.
Wow.
So
you confidently move forward, even though you didn't have the full picture. And you said yes as much as you can over and over, and that you held on to the scriptures, and that you kept trusting God because you knew you were living by faith.
I was living by faith.
I believe that sometimes we do forget that faith requires not seeing, but seeing.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Not seeing, but seeing, because faith comes by hearing the word of God. So we hear the word of God. We can see that God will bring us through. And we can see that he's brought others through. And we can see some stuff, but we don't see all the other pieces that come together. But I love what you said. You said, I see God, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because isn't that something in moments of life, like even now I'm reflecting, I believe that I was looking for resources and people and answers and the next piece to the puzzle and the next direction. But what I heard you say in this big space of my mind was, you see God.
Yeah.
Are you all seeing God? In that moment of moving forward, you said, I see God.
I see God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We got to sit with that.
Yeah.
Because your confidence to move forward is not in that everything is aligning and makes sense.
It's not going to make sense, right? It's not going to make sense.
Right.
And when you think about it over and over again, you're not going to move because it's not going to make sense. And you need every piece of the puzzle. You need all of the pieces. You need to see where the resources are, how you're going to make it. But do you see God in it?
Yeah.
Because we look for everything else. And I had to stop. And I can't look at everything else. I can only focus on him. When you think about when he called them to the water, they were looking at everything else. And the moment that they looked at other things.
So true.
But when I look at God and I see him and I hear his voice, I can't focus on anything else.
Wow. So much noise, inner and outer, external and internal.
Yes.
And you're like, you have to quiet. And just see and know. Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to say I'm encouraged by your journey, and I've only known like a little snippet of your journey. And of course, what you've told me, but I've seen physically what the journey's been like in the last few years, just watching you. But it's so encouraging, you know, and even when you are reminding me again that you didn't have all the answers, right? Because isn't that what we get celebrated for? We get, oh my God, you got all the plans and da-da-da-da. And you're like, but I didn't.
But I didn't.
And this is where you look a little crazy.
Yeah.
It's where the people are like, oh, you're a little bit nuts. Are you sure? So in that moment of life, you're moving forward, you're doing all these things. Did you ever feel paralyzed at any time? Or are you just confident that, when I say confident, not confident in yourself, but more so confident, like you said, you kept seeing God. So your confidence is in him, but had you had any moments where you felt a little bit paralyzed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think this past season, right, that I just came out of, in school, lost both parents 6 months of each other, and like really dealing with the grief of that and all of those things, it was paralyzing, right? Because I am fighting to literally just see God every day
for sure.
with grief, with all of those things. And then it's like, do I move? Do I still go? Do I still do these things? God, you promised this.
Right.
You had me start a doctoral program in the midst of this. And everything around me said, stop. Everything around me said, it's okay if you take a break. And there was a moment of like being paralyzed in that. And it's like, but I know he got me, right? So was I paralyzed? Absolutely.
Right.
Did I have doubts? Did I have fears?
Right.
Did I second guess? I did.
Right.
But then it was in those moments, God, you are a restorer. You know, there are times when we say we want to know God or that God is this, but there are seasons where we get to know him for that.
Come on.
For ourselves.
Come on.
And the season that I just came out of, being paralyzed, I know him to be a restorer. He restoreth my soul. When I could not say anything else, God, you restoreth my soul. It won't always be like this.
Right.
You restore my soul. So in those moments, I just reminded myself, wow, did I get paralyzed? Absolutely. But I didn't stay there.
And that's that. I was about to say, oh my gosh, I could just shout it to the rooftop. She didn't stay there, y'all.
I didn't stay there.
So it's not that you don't ever experience it. For those who are listening and watching, it's that there are moments where you're going to have them. It's a part of life. The unexpected, she said, both of her parents in 6 months, right?
6 months.
They had transitioned. So right when she was probably just catching her breath, I didn't say she was over anything, just like, okay, I can finally catch my breath again to kind of breathe because I was holding it. Boom, one more time. And so we all know that the unexpected things are going to happen. And when it's happening, you might feel paralyzed. So we don't want to give you this unrealistic journey that happens, but it will happen. You may have it, but she didn't stay there. And she said that she allowed God to restore her soul. There's some partnership that happens in that place, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I'm walking through this. I'm confident in God. This is happening. I can't control those things.
Cannot
control those. And now you're saying, but I also had to deal with it and remember that God is with me, reminding myself, and that he had to restore you day by day, hour by hour to even get where you are today.
To get where I am today. Yeah.
Wow. Because sometimes people look at you.
Yeah.
And they just don't understand the story.
They don't.
They're like, oh my God, you had so much faith. I did have faith, but it didn't mean I wasn't paralyzed.
I had faith, but I was paralyzed and I was questioning.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
You know, God, can you pick somebody else? It's nobody else in the tent that can come out.
Because, okay, so we haven't gotten there yet, but I wanted to talk about how we actually, in our journeys, sometimes we're trailblazers, right? Mm-hmm. So most people, maybe I'm jumping ahead. I think that's another episode later on when I bring her back in. We're going to have her. But even in that, I just want to touch on that a little bit, because you're saying that you were leading in the now. So leading in the now, when we're talking about vision, means that God will pick you out of generations. Yeah. Right. And he'll choose you to do some things, which is why I believe that you moved forward without clarity. Mm-hmm. And then you had all these different experiences that were happening, the ebbs and flows of life. But now you're saying, wait, why you pick me? What's going on? Right. The questions are, why did it have to be me? So it's such a bigger picture than what we're thinking about. And although you start off confident in God, that doesn't mean that you stay confident in the choosing.
Yes, no, you're not confident in the choosing. And
which is different.
It's very different. And you're like, okay, I trust you, God, and I see you, but wait.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I have to go through this, right? Yeah. When we talk about being generational curse breakers and the first and all of that and blazing trails, that means that there was none before you in that regard. Mm-hmm. When you think about your life and wanting to do and wanting to go, we don't count the cost. Mm-hmm. We don't count the cost. And then it's also to blaze a trail that you got to disrupt a lot of things.
Ooh.
The blazing part.
Ooh.
And it was like, okay, so you're choosing me to like dismantle all of this. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be the blueprint.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to be the blueprint. Anyone else?
I don't want to be the blueprint. But albeit, right? Because I do. I want to do things that you've called me to do, but I didn't know that this was it. And we go back to...
right.
If he showed us the whole puzzle... No, pick somebody else.
Who? Still like Gideon under the wine press. Who?
Me? You sure?
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So as we're moving forward, we're talking about different things. Let's help the listener or the viewer to decide, like, how can they make decisions? We know we have prayer and we have wisdom, but I want to ask you this question: How do you personally discern when it's time to move, even if it's unclear? When do you decide? How do you even discern, right? Because we talked about this earlier in one of the episodes, discernment over just decision making, because decision making can just be like logic and all of those kind of things. But then there's discernment, which has a spiritual aspect to it, and it has timing and all of this stuff. How do you discern? How are you discerning that during this leading the now and moving forward?
So I believe that when I think about how do I discern in uncertainty, first, discernment is about identity.
All right.
It's about knowing who you are.
All right.
And then when I know who I am, it's not just a decision. It's not just I decided to do something.
Right.
So the discerning comes in understanding the identity, and that Jeremiah 1:5, right? That I know that I was made for a purpose.
Right.
And even though I don't see it, even though I don't understand it, and this is an uncertain time, I am confident that who you've created me to be, who you've called me to be, is all that I need to be right now to make that decision.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I hope y'all are getting something from this, because it's not about, what I like that you just said wasn't about praying for clarity.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, we turn to that, right? We're like, I'm discerning there's something going on and I'm not clear, and then we start praying for that. But I love that you didn't say that. You just did some prayer. You actually did some things other than just pray, right? There's some works, there's some actions, there's some things that we had to put in play. And we had to stay, some of us are not staying the course in the vision because of how we personally are discerning wrong. Well, actually, we're making decisions because we're not discerning.
Because we're not discerning, right?
Yeah, and you said it's beyond that, but you said it's your identity. And it's so much to unpack in that. When you say identity, how did your identity just really play a role even moving forward?
Yeah. So I think I had a season of cultivating and learning who I was. I like that. Right?
Right.
And when we think about that cultivation process, and if you go to, I study that, when I wrote my book, Cultivating, there's a process that there's some tilling of the soil. And then you have to turn some things so that you can prepare for the seed.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to come until you begin to do that. So there's a season and a time that you take to learn who you are in God. We always talk about who you are in God. And people can tell us, and we can read it, and we can say that we're Proverbs 31, and we can say that we're all those things, but have you taken time to really embody who that is?
That's good.
And I think once I begin to embody and understand who I am and the purpose that He's made me for, then I can say, now I understand who I am. And it's not about just a decision that I make, because my yes and who I am is tied to all of that. So then I can say, if I know who I am and I know what you've called me to, and this season may look like this.
That's good.
Can I step back and see you in that season?
That's good.
And now I can say, okay, even though it's uncertain times, I know that this is still a part of the plan.
Wow. That's good. That's good. So we're talking about identity, right? So we had faith. We're talking about faith. We're talking about moving. People say blind, but faith is not blind. Anyway, we don't have time to get into that. Faith gives you sight. It's so much about it. And now you're saying identity. That's what I'm hearing. So I hope y'all are grabbing that there's a faith component, right? But then there's that inner place that she was talking about where we're cultivating and identity comes up, because the truth is vision and identity go together.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, they go together. We don't. Can we unpack that a little bit? Faith and identity go together. So how you're moving confidently is about the identity, and the vision becomes so much clearer, and the confidence is built based on your relationship with God, your faith in God, but also your identity to understand who I am.
Who I am.
Wow.
And I think it's in those moments, and I don't know whether it comes with being on the other side of certain things, age, probably a little bit of both. I think that now, uncertainty used to make me run, right? I'm scared, right? There's fear. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's going on. But I think that it's now an invitation to lean in to what God is saying and what he's already spoken over my life? Can I discern the space and this place in my identity?
That's good.
So if I am courageous, what do I need the courage to do here?
Right.
And
That's
how
good.
is this building that?
That's good. I love that. It just popped in my head. I was thinking about when people are moving forward, and I want to ask you, the listener, what might God be asking you to trust in the place of peace instead of waiting for proof, right? So be peaceable. You can't see it, but you can have peace knowing that God is with you, right? Dr. Ya is saying that, hey, I trusted God. I didn't see everything, and most of us are waiting to see it. And even when you were talking, I thought about my own personal self, and I'm glad that he didn't, years later now, I'm glad, because if you had, no thank you ever, okay? No thank you ever.
I'm leaving.
I'm out of here.
I'm out. You want me to do what?
Yes. It's what? So I want to talk a little bit about what it looks like to lead boldly when the map isn't finished. Because when you think about navigation, right? We put stuff in the navigation and whatnot. I was coming home the other day and the navigation kept saying, last night, as a matter of fact, I was coming home and the navigation was taking me, and I knew how to get home, but I needed to figure out how to get out of the place that I was in because it was unfamiliar. So I put the navigation in for home, and it was taking me on a route that I didn't know, but I saw a sign, and the sign said to Delaware, blah, 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 but the navigation was taking me around another place. And what I did was I kept looking at the sign, and then it kept telling me to get off and do another exit. It was such a good lesson for me, because what I did was I was following the sign that I was familiar with, but not the navigation that it was giving me. So what do you do how do you boldly move forward when the map isn't finished? How do you communicate vision or direction to others while still discerning what it looked like?
What it looks like.
Yeah.
It's literally, you know how, as you were saying that, and I'm thinking about it, you lose signal and there's no Wi-Fi, but you did see that you were supposed to do exit 16A, right? So it's do you go to exit 16A?
Right.
Everything in you is telling you probably should keep going straight.
Right.
You know that you should go to exit 16A.
Woo.
So it is literally taking it step by step, one at a time, because like you, I usually will look and then it'll give you 4 different routes, right? Route 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And then you're like, let me see which one can give me the fastest. Or let me see which one can do that. But the first one is usually the one that is preferred. I always look at the second and the third. I had to stop doing that, because if this is the route that is suggested for me first, even though there is another way,
come on,
you have to follow that way. And then I use MapQuest, so then it clicks list. I want to see everything. So I want to click list, and then it's going to tell me all the turns and all of that. But then it tells you, do you want to return to map view? You have to, you
recenter.
Cannot,
it says recenter, right?
Yes. You cannot continue to look at what's next. You have to go with just the first direction.
This is so good, y'all.
And then allow the map
to
go to the next direction. So it's when you don't know, just follow the first step.
Follow the first step.
And that first step for you could be saying yes to God.
Wow.
The first step could be, I'm going to trust you. The first step could be, I'm going to sit here and be quiet. And then you'll get the next step.
Whoo!
It's when we try to get every single step that you get overwhelmed.
That's so good. I'm about to just scream in here. That was so good. I literally was just because last night I had the thing open, I was and you turn right and you turn left, and then you're so busy looking at all the turns that you don't even get to the turn. You don't even get to your exit because you missed it. Anyway, we'll have to come back and talk about that some more. That's so good. I hope that you are paying attention. She said, just the first step. That's the thing about human beings. I think that's a control thing, right? About us. Don't try to control the whole thing. I know that's going to take me 2 hours to get to the destination. Why does it matter? Did I know all of the different turns and I didn't do the first 5 minutes? And that's what she's saying. Yeah. So I want you to just slow down and just get the first step and do the first step. And that's what's so important. And I love that she said, if we go back to the beginning, she said, I went 20 years ago to a campus that I had never been ever, did that. She did the first step, which took her to the next step and the next step. And navigating that and moving through life, mapping it out when it wasn't unclear, has brought her to a place that she didn't even see.
No.
She didn't even see in all of those different steps because she only needed the first step. So for you, I want you to hear that, and I want you to just calm down and move in that. As we're talking about vision, it's not about rushing. Just do that one step and stop saying you need to see more before you move for the next thing. That's so good. What step are you being asked to take right now? What step are you being asked to take right now, even if it's not the whole staircase? Let me say that again. What step are you being asked to take right now, even if it's not the whole staircase? You want to look up and see how many steps it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just take that one. I want you to answer that question. Wow, this has been so good. Is there any final thoughts that you want to share with our listener?
I think,
or viewers,
leading the now requires that you take a moment to just sit and see God. Not what's coming, not what was behind you, but being present. And I like to say, I want to be where my feet are. Because my feet are right here in this room.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
am I thinking about what's going on later?
Right.
Because that's not the now. Am I thinking about recapping what else is going on? So in order for you to lead the now, you have to be present in the now. You have to see God in this moment.
So good.
In this moment.
Yeah, that's so good. OMG. Did you hear that? That even made me think about something like even today, just being in the now, leading in the now, being in the now. Thank you so much. So good. So many gems. So simple tools, simple actions, encouraging. But you have a person right here. They actually did it, and you can do it as well. Your path is already set, predestined. God has already set everything already. You just have to take the first step, and you can do it without uncertainty, without knowing all of the steps. Dr. Yah Williams just shared that with us. Let's clap it up. Let's cheer on. Thank God for you. Thank you for being here. I want to give you one rapid reflection real quick. Let me ask you this question. I'll ask you just the optimum living one. How do you define optimum living in one sentence? Let me ask you that.
Optimum living in one sentence is being everything that God has created me to be, while also continuing to learn who I am and embrace this moment.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I hope y'all are defining your own optimum living. Yeah. That's so good. Thank you. Let me just share this with you all as we close out. Leadership in unclear times isn't about perfection. It's about courage, posture, and trusting the one who sees the full picture. If this episode, if Dr. Yah said something that was really good, brought some clarity, helped you to know that you need to trust or take some action, please share it out with someone else, just to say, hey, I watched this video, I watched this podcast, the speaker was so good. Just let somebody else get the nuggets, get the gems, get the answers. And don't forget to join the community and go to sybilbull.com so that you can get the tools and the wisdom that we have as resources for you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Optimum Living. I'm Sybil Bull, helping you grow, live fully, and unlock the life you were created to enjoy. Until next time, stay grounded, stay grateful, and keep reaching for the life God has shown you. Remember this, you are designed to live an optimum life. I'll see you next time.